Way back in October of 2016, you guys remember this? Our real estate experts, Julie and Daniel DeRoche, they took our cameras on a tour of a home in Edina. So they bought the home, they decided to demolish it and then rebuild. Now to them, there were just too many updates that needed to be made to save it. This happens a lot when people go house hunting.
You know what, our cameras continued to follow the process from when that old house came down all the way through walking around their brand new home they built in its place. So settle in, get comfortable. We've got a lot to show you.
I played around with bobcats and stuff in the past a little bit, but nothing like that. Julie was...
That was fun. I was super intimidated to do it, but once you got up there, it's really easy.
I can't believe how fast it goes. Look at that. Already into the back porch.
They'll have the house down within the next hour.
Okay.
And then they'll spend the rest of the day hauling it away.
How long do you think till there's an actual foundation poured?
I would say about 10 days from now, you'll see the foundation walls.
Next week, all the framing should be done and shingles on?
Yep, and they'll be setting windows at that point.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Wow, it goes so fast. I can't believe it. A few.
The carpenters are close to finishing up. They got about a week left. The plumbers will be coming in a few days, starting some of their work. So that's coming up here pretty quick, actually.
Well, Julie, I am so glad you like the windows, and I know you really like the color, don't you?
I love the black.
hot color.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but I love it.
I know, it's a really neat color. And I'm glad you took the time, because most homeowners don't take time to select their windows and doors. I know you came into the window store a couple times, and that's where you can make some neat decisions.
I knew I wanted to do black,
Right.
but there's so many different ways the black can kind of finish on the inside and how it looks in the house.
Right.
Between brands, so we were able to come in, they were able to show me grid patterns within the windows and how it laid out, and it just was really, really great to see it in person before we actually, you're spending a lot of money on windows.
Right.
And it was good to see it before we actually.
Well, and that's a great point. You know, most homeowners, they spend time on the cabinets and the countertops and the fixtures, and they don't even think about the windows.
And they're a huge part of the cost of a house, and they're a part that has to last a long time. And I see so many people put in an inferior product, and 5 years, 10 years down the road, they're failing, and then they got to reinvest all that money. Go with a company like Pella right off the hop, and you never have to look back. It's just going to last for your ownership of the home and then some.
I first come up with like a cohesive plan of how do I want the home to look, like once it's all put together. So you kind of have to come up with a kind of a theme. The theme for this house is modern farmhouse. I kind of am in between. I love traditional stuff and I love modern stuff. And I think with a modern farmhouse, you get to pull in some of that traditional farmhouse feel, but also it doesn't get too farmhousey, too kitschy.
Things change almost every year. You know, I started Ruble 3 years ago, and 3 years ago we were selling a lot of 12 by 12s, a lot of 18 by 18s. And now tiles seem to be getting longer, a 6 by 24, a 2 by 24. So planks are really popular right now.
The one thing you want to be cautious of is you don't want to get too crazy or too colorful with any one thing, because you want the house to be timeless. So you don't want to be 5 years down the road thinking, oh, why did I pick out that forest green tile? I don't like it anymore. But you can do pops of that throughout. You just have to be careful. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was a longer process than I think initially intended, but we knew that in the back of our head that it's always going to take longer than it usually does.
I had a lot to do with initial floor plans. When you look around right now, you're not looking at the floor plan. You live in the floor plan. What you're looking at is the style, which I have zero style. So that's part of the reason I married Julie, because she has great taste in everything. And I say this all the time, great taste in everything except men. I would say when you're doing this, if you're gonna just even play with an existing home, just really come up with a plan. Don't just go to the store and buy something and try to design around that. Just sit down, whether you're doing it on your own or you're working with an interior designer, sit down and take your time with it and really come up with a plan.
I can see when either I go through the build process with people or maybe a remodel, they think that they're going to pick out everything quicker than they do, and then I see kind of those last decisions they kind of rush on. So, they get bogged down with the first couple ones, and then we get to make decisions on everything else because we're up against a timeline, and then they kind of just make them really quickly without thinking them through.
We want people to be able to come over and really relax and enjoy their time with us. But we want people to have just a very,
feel very welcoming.
relaxing,
Yeah.
welcoming environment.
To echo
Wow.
that sentiment, I would like to go there
Me too.
and be comfortable. So just tell me when.
What
and I'll
Julie and
go there.
Daniel don't
Is
know
that just gorgeous?
is that we are moving our families
Oh
in
man, we've already
with
figured it out. It's going to
you.
become a Twin Cities Live compound. All of us go there. We'll shoot it as a reality show. It'll be lovely.
It is so cool to see that process
Really
from beginning to end. So coming up next, Julie and Daniel DeRoche are here. They're going to talk to us about their new home, and they're going to explain why they have 2 refrigerators and 2 dishwashers in their kitchen. They don't need to explain that to me. I know why. It's called heaven.
This is really something that one of our producers could not stop talking about. To Twin Cities Live. Okay, we got to see them build a dream home from start to finish. A journey a year and a half in the making.
Now Julie and Daniel DeRoche from DeRoche Realty Group and Coldwell Banker Burnett are here with us. We're going to dive a little deeper before we all move in. We love this
We
house
can't wait
so
to move
much,
in.
you guys. Is it fun to see that process from beginning to end, Julie?
It is, yeah. It's a good recap of it, and you kind of even forget some of the beginning stuff and the whole process.
I think
after
it's
you're done.
really helpful to see that whole process.
Let's kind of go back and pick out a few favorites, some things that stood out to us, stood out to you guys, starting in the kitchen. Tell us all about the design of the kitchen, what you wanted this space to be, Julie.
Yeah.
I mean, the island was key.
Yeah, so we did the white oak. Instead of doing the kitchen all white cabinetry, I really wanted to warm it up a little bit. So we did the courtesan white oak. The range was really important to us. The nice big Thermador range.
I love you, Thermador. Yes,
How many
yes.
people are fitting at that island? About 30-ish?
Well, 4 right there with the chairs. But
I like that you included a prep pantry, that it's more than just a storage place. It's actually a useful space to get things done, Julie. How does this work? Like, how do people incorporate this into their homes?
Well, it's nice because I think there's so many cool gadgets nowadays, and people have so many cool small appliances and all this stuff, but you don't necessarily now kitchens are open, so you don't want to leave them out on your countertop in your kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great place to put all that stuff. If you're having a party, you can prep the food back there, throw dirty dishes back there.
My smoothie bar's in there.
Yeah,
The
Daniel?
smoothie bars in
I
there?
have a smoothie
Yeah,
bar.
that's great. Even things like vitamins, and like if I don't have my vitamins out, I forget to take
Yep.
them, but it really bugs me that they're sitting out on the kitchen counter. If you could design a space like that, you can hide all those things.
And then you have
exactly
beautiful appliances everywhere I turn. The fridge looks great. The stove looks great. I mean, and those are things that you can't overlook, because if you get low-end appliances and you focus so much on the overall aesthetic of the rest of the room, it's not connected.
No, it was one of the most important parts of picking out stuff for the house. We actually went down to Warner Stallion in Edina, met with Angela, and she really helped us. We told her what we wanted, what our lives are like, how we cook, and she really, told us which direction to go. She recommended we go with Thermador. It was important to us to have the refrigerator and the freezer paneled, so
Okay.
it didn't look like a
Yeah.
refrigerator
Right.
in the kitchen. And Thermador offers that in their product
So
line.
Daniel, are you seeing that then in resale? I mean, is that something that your clients are looking, when they're out looking at homes, they want to buy houses with those high-end appliances?
Depending on the price range of the home, absolutely. But we reach out to Angela from Warner Stallion pretty much, I would say 1 in 3 homes that we help a seller prepare, we're putting brand new stainless appliances in, and Warner Stallion always does an awesome job. And I truly believe our clients probably double their money on that investment, because people do want People don't like putting their food in somebody else's old dirty fridge.
Oh,
So people
yeah.
love that.
Something to think about.
I know.
Okay, the room that I always look to whenever I'm, if you're peeking in a house, meaning not like illegally, not illegally,
You've been
everybody.
invited over.
Yeah, just a knock, knock. I love checking out people's basements. So tell me about this basement design. This is just a getaway, Daniel.
We entertain a lot, and we find that most people nowadays, you do want to have that ability to stay home and entertain, especially in the winter. So having a really nice game area, nice TV watching area, nice wet bar area, exercise room, it just keeps everybody at home. We have so many friends and clients that want to be where everyone goes.
Yeah.
So instead of having all your kids over at the neighbors' homes or something, having everybody at your home for movie night and game night, we find people just love that, entertaining factor, and we want it open and bright, and it works perfect.
It's nice to have that basement bar area be so functional, because sometimes you see these basement bars where you're like, okay, who's really just standing behind there to pour a drink, right? I mean, this is
Me.
functional where you can actually use the sink and make things,
you kind
right?
of feel like you're out at a restaurant bar.
Yeah.
At a
we
party.
entertain, and me and like a friend will be behind the bar, actually bartending. We'll have people lined up. Like we held Julie's 40th or parents' 40th anniversary there, and there's 100 people there, and there's 2 of us bartending. So
And the drinks are very reasonable at Julie and Daniel.
Tip jar, you have a tip jar out there?
of course.
It's always happy hour there.
Finally, tell us about the inspiration behind the great room and how that came together.
And this is something that I know people who are remodeling, Julie, are like obsessed with this great room idea. So what does a great room mean?
Well, I think it's now because everything's not segregated in your house. Everything flows together. So the great room now becomes kind of the overflow of the kitchen, and everybody kind of hangs out in the great room. And we wanted it to feel really warm. Beams are becoming really big again, so getting that wood feature into the living room.
I love that they're light wood, Julie,
Right.
that they're not super dark. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we're now tending towards light woods. Dark is kind of heading out as far as what's in style goes
Yeah, it's
right
all
now.
cyclical.
Yeah.
You arrange the seating. My mom always talks about this with interior design, that arranging seating so that you can actually have conversations with people is so important.
Yes, yep, because that's where you are. You're sitting there after dinner or before dinner, and you want to have enough, I think having enough space for everybody to sit down. You don't want just one couch and everybody's
Squished together.
on
Yeah.
the couch. And we were, the fireplace, we wanted to be a focal point. And
The fireplace is stunning.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. You guys did a great job.
I feel like we're going to be there soon. I just am getting a sense that they're
I
going
like
to
the
say just
reality
come
show
over.
idea.
The reality show. All the
Yeah,
TNT
it would
stuff
be really incredible.
moves in there. Thank you guys. It was really fun to be a part of that journey. Hey, if you're considering buying, selling, or building a home, Julie and Daniel would love to help you. Head to TwinCitiesLive.com. There you'll find a link to the DeRoche Realty Group with Coldwell Banker Burnett.
And big thanks to DeRoche Realty Group for sponsoring Twin Cities Live and